Welcome to the Sativa Cross podcast. My headphones.
Yeah, Seth said it's Thursday. Yes,
Yes,
it's
sir.
Thursday.
Why do we have effects on our voices here?
I don't know, but it's cool.
Can we hear our guests?
Okay, there we go.
We've got Patrick on the line. We're going to open the show. What's up, brother? We're going to open the show with you. We have to play our theme song first, and we're just getting started. But just a hint what's happening here. Patrick was one of the patients that got his cannabis paid for by insurance for a while, and then it stopped. So we're going to find out what the heck's going on with that because...
we got questions. I want to know all about that.
This is another patient suffering, and what are they doing to help him? No, they're hurting him. They want to hurt him. Again, another patient being hurt by the system. Why did they do this to us? It's crazy.
Yeah, so we want to hear all about this.
Good evening, Seth. And I don't have the red truck tonight, so I'm going to pass weed to you. In the
what car do you want to use?
I have to use another car. Hold on, let me get the different camera angle here too.
Could always use the blue pickup truck.
Let's see. What do we? Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to send you some weed, some Garlito. All right, I'm going to fill this. This is what we do for fun, Patrick. Actually, for medication too. But we actually have fun while we medicate.
Yeah, well, it's a fun way of medicating, is what it is. So you have a grinder?
That's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna medicate, but we're gonna have fun while doing it.
I've been medicating all day.
Right on. So Lefty here is loading the pickup truck with Garlito. It's called, right?
Yeah.
With a whole bunch of Garlito, and I'm gonna roll that up. You have a grinder over by you, or
No.
over by the desk over here?
I'm going to run over Bonolio.
Well, see what happens.
That's cool.
There's too much. It's too overloaded with weed. Yeah.
Hold on.
The weight. That's different weight. Needs more wine. There you go. Yeah. All right. That's how we start the show. All right. Happy Thursday, everyone.
Happy Thursday. Smoke them if you got them.
I'm gonna get mine. Go to the drum if you can't do the time.
How you up and down.
When you smile in my face, but you play me like a clown. It's a fool, bitch. So just step back. I'm mad that when I come down straight, I thought you were my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll.
Oh, the stench of this Garlito.
Smells like
I was
feet.
smelling dirty socks.
Socks?
Yeah.
And grandma's panties.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my. Oh, wow.
Yeah, this smell reminds me of like 8th grade locker room, like somebody shouting out, "You haven't hit puberty yet."
Hold on, we can't say funny stuff over the theme song because
Oh, yeah.
nobody can hear us.
That's right.
We can't be funny yet.
Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with?
Garlito. And yes, it does smell like cheese and toilet water and all kinds of everything.
And cat piss.
Cat poo,
Yep.
cat with diarrhea.
Uh-huh.
Everything awful in life is in that Garlito right
Cat
there.
peed in the shower.
Everything, and that's what we're dealing with.
Use your litter box.
That's what we're dealing with. That's how you talk over a record.
Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with?
Garlito, and I can't tell you how
And
bad
dirty
it stinks
socks.
from here. It
stench.
smells awful.
With a little bit of BO.
I would never think that would be good in a joint, but it's amazing.
Raunch laundry. Those are the tones.
Patrick, I hope you have something real stinky like we're smoking here, because it stinks right now. My whole basement stinks. So
The last thing I had like that was cheesel.
what's that?
Cheesel. Blue cheese and blue cheese.
We're just having fun for this theme song here.
Why not?
Why not? We do this every Thursday. This is how we do it. We start off with a big fat joint, or a dab, or both.
We just
I was gonna say, man, I dab.
Yeah, we never hide. Yeah, so tonight is therapy for both Bongholio and El Rampador.
Yes,
therapy
sir.
time. So, and for Patrick too, I think. So this is a therapy session for all of us.
We
I
need
think.
to hear about what's going on with that. We got a good show. And this is therapy.
Let me see if I can turn this down a little bit. There we go. Oh, you know what? Oh man, I'm screwing up. I didn't do my audio fix here, so now it probably sounds like crap. Audio cancel. Okay.
I thought he may be screwing up the joint. I was like, man, that's my
Oh, never.
No, not that. Not on Thursday.
No, Thursday we do fancy joints, cross joints. And we pass the joint. Oh, Mikey, how are we going to pass the joint? Because we don't have the trumper truck. We have a trumper truck that has these big stacks on it, and then we put the joint in and we send the truck over. We don't have that tonight, so
Yeah, we
how about
just have to do.
how about the Jeep? How about the green Jeep?
Yeah, we could do that.
Do the green Jeep.
Do that.
All right, we have to pick out a truck to use tonight.
I'm going with tent too.
Turn this down.
You don't mind if my bird sits on my shoulder, do you?
Oh
No, we want that.
Hold on, I need to see that.
We want that.
Well, hold on a second. I got to put my shirt on first.
Seth is medicating on some Chem Dog and Purple Punch. Can't read that. Batter? Yeah.
Batter. Batter. It actually says batter.
Yeah, batter. B-A-D-D.
Batter.
E-R.
Get on. Come on. Good girl.
Oh, look at that. That is so cool.
I might have to take her out because she don't like when I talk on the phone with other people. So
That's the most adorable thing ever.
That is super cool. Look at that. Oh my, what's her name?
Benita.
Benita.
Aw.
Oh man.
Cute animals help heal past traumas. And that is a cute animal right there.
Wow.
Oh man, she goes with me everywhere. Are you talking? Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Oh, she's gonna be ornery. And I think she just pooped on me. That's
She's
wonderful.
podcast shy.
Oh,
She's laughing in my ear though. Yes, girl.
how old is she?
She just turned 17.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And they can live to be about 100. Almost anyway.
Oh, so she could live to be 100? Oh my.
Yeah, that's her talking right there. She
Now, when did you get her? How old was she when you got her?
I've only had her for a year. I'm the third owner. And the guy that I got her from, he was married to a girl that she was very jealous of. And so he got rid of the bird to save his marriage, and he still wound up getting divorced. And so I think I lucked out.
It was never about the bird
Oh.
in his situation. It just wasn't.
Man.
Yeah, well, he's the one that got burnt because, like I said, man, I'll have her for life. He was married for 2 years, so
All right. So the lesson out here is for anybody who has a bird and they're in a relationship, if anyone is telling you it's you or the bird, choose the bird. Because it
bird.
ain't the
Yo,
bird
oh, no doubt.
they're arguing about.
She's agreeing with you, man, no doubt. And
Yeah, she's like, I know.
yeah, she doesn't ask me for money. She doesn't smoke my medication. She doesn't, you know.
He's like, you
So-
abandoned me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Say hello. Are you going to say hello?
Well, that's good. She's
Yeah.
found a home. She's found a good home now.
And she's extinct. Well, not obviously not extinct, but she's on the extinction list. There's only 10,000 of her on the planet.
Ooh.
So I feel really lucky.
Why is that?
She's called it. It's a macaw, is what they're called, and she's just a really rare breed.
Because they do a lot of deforestation, probably where they're from.
Yeah, they have natural predators in the wild. They like to hang out in high treetops, but when they come down low, big cats, other bigger birds can get a hold of them, and you know, plus people hunt them and they keep them for pets. But they've just really cut down on the population of this macaw in particular, and there's not a lot of them.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, there's so many extinct species now. Like when I was young, there was a lot, and now there's even more. Now that I'm an old man, there's even more,
Well, it's going to get a lot worse.
and it's going to get worse because humans are we're like a virus.
Not taking care of the planet.
We don't take
not
care of our
taking care
home.
of other species.
We shit where we eat.
We act like every other thing is invasive.
Yeah, we're the most invasive.
Yep. We're the
That's
most.
my favorite part of the Matrix, no doubt. And that's what I love that part in the Matrix. He says, "Look, humans are viruses. Everywhere we go, we exploit the resources and basically consume everything and then leave it dry." And that's what we do. So, yeah,
And
it's
not for,
unfortunate.
and not for living, for profit usually.
Yeah,
Not because we're living there or we need that. No, they're doing it for profit.
And people tend to complain about the beaches, like when people leave the beaches a mess. Yeah, I get it, but that's like a good reflection of what we're doing to the earth. The beaches,
Yeah.
that's the one place we can keep clean. No, people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to clean up after themselves.
now they want to take bags away from everyone because they screwed up the planet for so long. Now we got to stop bags or pay for it. So we're literally paying to pee on the planet and not care anyway. I mean, yeah, it's pretty amazing to me.
Well, bags, that doesn't count because produce, you can still get bags in the produce section. So you can fill up all your food in the produce section, use those bags.
You know, I never thought of that. That's a great idea.
Put all your stuff in produce bags. That really piss them off. No, sir, you're doing this wrong. No, sir, you can't do that. Well, I did. Now
Well,
what?
you've only banned certain plastics, guys. Let's be adults here.
Be adults about this, guys.
Right? Please don't discriminate on me. I don't feel comfortable.
You're making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're making me uncomfortable. Now what?
I'm offended.
I said it first. I'm uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable first.
I'm uncomfortable first.
I'm calling the police first.
Yeah, I beat you to it.
That's how it works in court now. Who said
Yeah, I
I'm
know. I
offended
beat you to
first?
it. I got crazier first. I got more desperate first. Right?
Yeah.
So, Patrick, you're a medical cannabis patient in Delaware?
Yes, I am. For 6 years now.
Can I ask what you're patient for? You don't have to answer, but I'm just asking.
Oh, well, multiple things. And now, see, I'm gonna have to walk out of the room. She ain't gonna let me be.
That's okay. That's fine.
I'm a patient mainly for chronic pain due to failed back surgeries. I had 3 back surgeries in which they basically reconstructed my spine. And so from the base of my spine up is titanium.
Okay.
About halfway up my spine. They were considered failed surgeries, and they wound up cutting a bunch of nerves and stuff, and they screwed me up pretty good. And for about 10 years, it turned into them trying to kill me essentially with narcotics. Fentanyl, Oxycontin, Dilaudid, anything under the umbrella of what would be considered a narcotic. I like I said, for about a decade, and then I switched. I mean, I was always a patient, but I initially started, to answer specifically, when I came home from Saudi Arabia. That's when I started. I hadn't smoked through high school or anything like that, and I knew I felt a little bit different. Couldn't put my finger on it, but a friend of mine introduced me to it, and he rolled me a blunt. And the next day, I went out to the park, and the rest is history. I said, "Man, this is the bee's knees, man. I should have found this out a long time ago, man." But that was long before like I said, the drugs and the surgeries and so on and so forth. That all came after. But look, I'm holding the phone like I'm talking on speakerphone. I'm not used to doing this video stuff, man. But yeah, I'm a patient for chronic pain. I'm a patient. I'm diagnosed by the VA as bipolar and a whole slew of things that I don't necessarily agree with, but multiple things. If that simplifies it for you.
Okay, you're a fellow spiny because I have the same issue. I failed back surgeries. I was on opiates for 10 years. They tried to kill me with the mine was my prescription was 90 milligrams of Roxy every 3 hours. So they were trying to kill me with that.
Fucking 3 hours, man. Jesus Christ, that's insane.
Right?
I was on 150 micrograms an hour. Well, when I left the hospital out of the second back surgery, this was 2008, and this is right when they came out with fentanyl, and nobody even knew what it was yet. And when I was in the hospital for a week, mainlined on Dilaudid. And when they sent me home, it wasn't even my doctor that sent me home. It was another doctor on call that sent me home, and she sent me home with, she said, "I'm going to give you these patches." I said, "Wow, you know what I feel like? You think patches are going to take care of this?" She said, "Trust me, they will." I said, "Okay." Well, she wasn't lying. She gave me 150 microgram. And today, I have never heard of anyone getting a dose that high, not unless they were terminally ill, of which I've come to find out was one of the stipulations in even being prescribed fentanyl. You have to be a terminally ill cancer patient, AIDS patient. And I found out through different means of research that they lie about it. They'll all they got to do is snake you into saying that on the phone call between the insurance company and the doctor's office, and then boom, you're approved for it. So I went home on a heavy, heavy, heavy dose, and not to mention 10 milligram oxycodone, 2 milligrams Xanax, Ambien. I mean, basically what killed Michael Jackson, minus the propofol. So, I never liked any of these drugs. It sucked because I didn't even understand how I felt. I didn't know what one drug was doing over the other. So, but yeah, they truly tried to kill me. And in my first hearing, I think that was one of the things that won the day, was me addressing that very issue, because the insurance company came at me hard over just the issue of even using cannabis. And when the board saw, hey man, this guy not only got off all those drugs, but he stayed off of it and he used cannabis to do it. Well,
now, how did you get the insurance company to pay for your cannabis?
That whole process started in 2016. Delaware's a messed up state for medical cannabis. A lot of states are, but we're probably top 5. The Medical Marijuana Act, SB 17, was passed on May 13th of 2010. And the deal with the state was the governor, I believe Jack Markell at the time, had 6 months after that bill was passed to then implement everything into the program, meaning a way for everyone to get a card, a dispensary for everyone to go to, so on and so forth. That governor, unfortunately, he He agreed to go along with it for the votes. And then he drug his feet for years and years and years until the very first dispensary is built in 2015 in June. So no one's allowed to get a card, even though it's you can get one, just no doctor will fill it out for you. No one will give you the application. So finally, they built the first one in 2015. My attorney finds out about this dispensary in Wilmington, Delaware in 2016. I get my card in May of 2016. It was the very first day. I go into the dispensary. I've never even been in a dispensary my whole life. I've been buying marijuana illegally all this time up until that point. I walk in and I'm in a different world. I'm in total shock. And more importantly, of the prices. I'm like, wow, this is it's easier to sit at my house and just wait for somebody to bring me stuff. And it's cheaper. But in order to keep all this legit and legal and straight down the line, like the insurance company wants it, this is how it has to be done. So I went through the process, got the card, of which I tried to get them to pay for initially. They refused. They kept asking me if I had a card. Finally, I got it on my own finances. It was $150 just to get the card, minus the doctor's visit and so on and so forth. After I get this card, like I said, in the dispensary, I asked the lady behind the counter if they print receipt logs. And she said, well, I suppose we could. And she said, well, why would you like a receipt log? I said, for my insurance company, because they're going to pay for it. And it's funny to me now, because this was so long ago, that everybody behind that counter heard what I said. And they all looked at me and laughed.
They all laughed.
They laughed in my face, man. I was like, wow, okay, that's a nice greeting.
Wow, they all laughed at him.
And I had a stone straight face, and they said, what do you mean they're going to pay for your marijuana? I said, look, you don't know it yet. My attorney doesn't even know it yet, but they're going to pay for it. I'm telling you, they're going to do it.
Oh my!
And they go, okay.
Who's laughing now?
Yeah. Well, it wound up being about 2 years of me going to that dispensary and telling them, and I know that they got tired of it because I made 191 trips to that dispensary in 2 years. And every time I went, I would let them know until I finally got a chance to go to my first hearing. And I went in, I think, October of 2018. And it was awesome. I mean,
hearing for what?
What's that?
A hearing for what?
A hearing to get medical cannabis paid for by insurance, or at least reimbursed.
Right.
Okay, so I win. But what they did is I spent $21,300.55 in the first year. So they had to go back and reimburse me for everything. I mean, any joint papers or lighters or whatever, all included.
Oh.
Because it was written in, yes, everything. I bought my bong, everything. I mean, everything got reimbursed.
Right on. Can't take that back.
I bought
Can't take that back, right?
Oh, hell no. And the beautiful part is that very first check, I told them that I would not take it unless they announced on the check what it was for. And I have copies of it that say that it's for medical marijuana reimbursement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I've got them. I've got an insurance company pinned against the wall in doing something that's technically federally illegal.
Oh.
So, but that's only the first hearing, and they awarded me 50 grams a month and reimbursement, and all they did was average out my very first year, of which I didn't even have the money. 50 grams. When I get to 50 grams, I'm getting concerned. I'm like, man, I'm getting low. Okay, this is
Right.
so. I had to renegotiate that. I said, that's not fair, you guys. And to listen, just to put this into perspective for you, the board that I'm dealing with, the people on this board, okay, there's no other polite way to put this. They are dumbasses when it comes to marijuana. They just don't know anything. And you can't blame them. You can't be mad at them. But they're used to dealing with stuff has everything to do with the medical world except for this. So they don't know how to even write a decision that's that's proper. So I had to go back and do it again just to get the numbers right. So I took them back to court again. I said, look, I want my numbers adjusted. I asked for 110 grams. Their doctor recommended 70. So they met me in the middle and agreed on 90. I said, that's a perfect 3 grams every day. I can't lose with that. An eighth a day? Hell. Well, I win. The only thing I don't win, of which I considered it to be a loss on the day because I wanted the billing worked out. I mean, to pay for 90 grams out of pocket is absurdly expensive, especially when you use the products that I use. I'm all dabs and all edibles.
Yes, me too.
I mean, I can't mess with smoking flower anymore. It just hurts my lungs. I mean, honestly, if I had to rely on flower anymore, I would have to smoke like a pound a day. It would be absurd. So, anyways, fast forward to the second hearing, and I win the 90 grams, but not the billing. And go figure, the state of Delaware won't even cooperate. The dispensary, of which is basically the state, because it's a former state trooper that owns, I think, 3 of them. He's the one that started.
What's dispensary?
The one in Wilmington and the one in Smyrna, and if he didn't open another one, he might still only have 2, but he's the one that started the program in Delaware. Officer Lally is his name.
What's the name of the dispensary?
First Day Compassion.
Okay. And then
what's that?
And then how does CannaSense fit into all this? Because you started using CannaSense at some point?
No, that's where it gets real cool, man. I got to tell you, because I was really batting zero on that side. I even went to Oregon, man. I've made 2 trips to Oregon in this process, talking to I don't know how many different dispensary owners just to see who would work with an insurance company. I'm like, all you got to do is take an invoice and send it electronically to the insurance company. But it's like taboo because every state has their own rules. And Oregon, you can't pay with a card. Everything's a cash transaction. So unfortunately, I came home with a few prospects after my second trip, but nothing solid. And coming home, I mean, this is, maybe a year into the pandemic, and I'm still in the same situation here. Another reason why I went to Oregon, it's dry. There's nothing here. So you go to Oregon, get what you can, and send it back to yourself in the mail, whatever. Point is you got to go, you got to get your medication somewhere. And the state of Delaware only can grow so much per year. And if the number of patients continues to go up, then what do you think is going to happen? Everything just gets depleted. So, like I said, I win the second hearing, and I mean, I get my 90 grams. But now, after I come home from that second trip from Oregon, now I'm in the hunt. I got to find something else. And I've come across it's a headline on the news. I hear that in New York, you're allowed to possess up to 5 pounds of marijuana legally. And I immediately thought, man, I'm going to start looking for dispensaries in New York. It ain't that far away. I've been to DC. So I start looking online, and I find a number. I find a guy who tells me that there are no dispensaries in New York. It's all being done online. And I automatically think it's just nonsense. So I look into it. To be on the safe side, I order a gram. It comes to me in the mail. I can't believe it. I think, this could work. So I get in contact with Neil. Well, first I make a couple of rather large orders, of which sent up red flags for Mr. Schloss over at CannaSense. He said, whoa, what's going on here? Once he verified that everything was legitimate, he was on board. And I mean, really, the rest is history. He is literally coming to the board hearing with me on Monday for cannabis and myself about why they have cut me off from my medication, because they have paid for an entire year and just this May decided to cut me off. And they're blaming it all on a discrepancy that doesn't exist. And it's been shown and proven that it doesn't exist. It's called throw shit at a wall and see what sticks. And hopefully the guy dies in the meantime. Me, meaning me.
Right.
So that's where we're at. And that's how I got involved with CannaSense. I mean, it was by pure luck I saw that on the news. So, yeah, I couldn't be happier, though. I mean, CannaSense has really come to my rescue, especially their veterans program. Anybody out there that's listening that's a vet, man, get involved with CannaSense, because I'm telling you, it's the best thing in the world to just be able to sit at your house and not have to spend a half a day hunting down medication. I mean, it truly is. It's really saved my bones a lot of travel time, of which in turn means I'm able to do things for myself and my disabled mother as well. I don't like riding in the car for 45 minutes to be told that what I need isn't available. And that's exactly what happens here. And that's why CannaSense is such a solid, man, it's a solid 100. I've never missed a package, and I've gotten maybe, I don't know, 30. So, but yes, they've cut me off, and for really no reason. And that's what we're going to court for. They have to establish why they cut me off. But then again, if they had an issue, why would you do it for a whole year? What it comes down to is they don't like the cost. That's it. So.
Wild.
What about the cost of opiates?
It's funny you say that. I requested the records of all the opiates and all the medication and treatment that I had received from travelers.
Yeah, what is that tab?
Basically the running tab, but minus medical marijuana. It was $297,000. That's without any of my paychecks. That's without any settlement money I had previously. So I equated it to them. And basically the argument they're trying to make right now is the way the law is written in Delaware, an insurance company has the power and privilege to decide where you get your medication from. Okay, so if you get a prescription from Rite Aid and they find that it's cheaper at Walgreens, they can tell you to go to Walgreens because they got the same thing. Well, there in itself is my argument. You can't go to a pharmacy and just get what I get. There's only a couple of locations in the whole state of Delaware. And on top of that, they can't keep up with the supply and demand of any of the products that they currently have. Look, guys, don't never come to Delaware and buy medical cannabis. Don't do it. Even if you got a card and you can go into the dispensary, of which will feel like a totally different world to you. Armed guards walking around, man. It's strange. And I don't understand how they put it in the heart of just opium central, man. Just like, yeah, and they wonder why it gets robbed. It's amazing to me. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm right there with you guys. I think I might have had one too many dabs, so I lose track real quick. But
Yeah,
forgive me if I lose myself.
Can we do a dab?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, let's do some dabs
Absolutely.
too. We just smoked a blunt, and that really got me.
Yeah, let's do a dab.
Let's do some dabs. But yeah, that's all we can do. I have a lot of back pain I'm dealing with myself, so I may try to do that too. I'll get my insurance company to pay for some weed. Why not?
hey, I'll tell you what, man. It's become case law, and I don't know if you checked out my case online. But I got an interesting little story I'd like to give you. I know you're gonna love this. While I was out in Oregon, one of the people that I came across, I was staying with some friends out west, and they were already about the scene and everything. I didn't know anything when I came out there. And basically, our day from start to finish was ride around to different dispensaries and look for different strains and different stuff and whatever. Well, we got wind, or my friend got wind of Jim Belushi doing a interview, or not an interview. He was doing a what do you call it? It's not a grand opening of a store. He was
Like a promotional event?
It was a promotional for his brand, because he's got a farm up in Oregon now that he's doing a show on Discovery Channel. I don't know if you're aware, but um, he was doing a promotional for, again, his brand, and people were showing up to get autographs and see who Jim Belushi is in person. And we came, and we were the last people in line. We stood there all day in the rain, and we were the last people to truly come in there and see him. Well, I had it. Unfortunately, I lost it, but a copy of the Constitution, a leather-bound copy. And I carry a copy of the Constitution with me everywhere I go. People make fun of me. I don't care. I say this is the rule book for the country, and if you don't know it, get ready. So, yeah, I had this copy of the Constitution, and I had him sign it, and I show him one of my check stubs for my reimbursement checks, and look, he's stoned out of his mind. He can't comprehend what I'm saying. He's just busy sitting there doing autographs, and my buddies are behind me. By the way, this is all on camera. My buddies were able to get this all on camera, and you can check it out. No joke, on Instagram. I don't do social media. My buddies, in their infinite wisdom, decided to set up an account for me because of my case, and they just started taking videos of me doing dumb stuff.
Good friends, right there.
Great friends.
Those
right
are
there.
good friends.
What's it called?
Man.
Before I forget, what's it called? The Instagram account.
It's called free.marijuana.
Free.marijuana?
Yeah, FREE dot marijuana, just like it sounds.
Right on. I'm gonna follow you.
Right on, yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't care about followers or none of that stuff. We did it just to document it, that it happened, number one. And listen, what the story goes, it's his TV producer, which is his cousin. He comes over and he looks at the stub, and he goes, "Man, you realize what he's showing you?" And he was like, "Yeah." It looked, like I said, he was out. Old Belushi was stoned on his own weed. And it was funny as hell, because I could tell. All my buddies could. So that's all over and done with. I shake the man's hand. I'm only there for the little, handshaking with Jim Belushi. My buddies are there to buy stuff in the dispensary. Well, I go in the dispensary, and they're shopping around, along with a whole bunch of other people. The next thing I know, little guy with the director hat and the shirt comes up to me, and he wants me to sign a waiver. I was like, "For what?" He was like, "Jim Belushi wants to interview you." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, Jim Belushi wants to interview." I said, "Okay, man." Oh, wow. So Jim Belushi comes walking. There's a foyer where he was doing the autographs, and then he comes walking into the dispensary itself and kicks everybody out but me and my friends. And then he brings the cameras in and sets everything up, and then interviews me. It's like 2 interviews. There's 2 videos, but it's kind of a back-to-back in the second part. He does it pretty well, I think. But I think you'll find it interesting. He sums me up pretty well. But yeah, that was one of the few cool things that I got to accomplish out there. I thought that maybe my case might get some traction from that out west, but I swear, it's like nobody believes me when I tell them, and they don't until they look my case up and they read it for themselves. It's like, whoa, okay.
How can people look? How can we do that? How can we look your case up?
It is at Giles and Ransom versus Calix. That's Kalix.
And what's the first part?
Giles. It's Giles. Space and and then ransom.
Ransom?
Ranso. Yeah, Ransome. And then versus Calyx. My last name.
All right.
It's a pretty lengthy decision. So
Let me tell you, if you got Neil on your side, I think you're in good shape.
Yeah, Neil's awesome.
I've come to find that out. I gotta tell you, since we've got together on this, man, he's never faltered, not once, man. He's been there for
That's
everything
Neil.
I've needed
That's
for.
Neil, man.
Oh, man.
So
I tell you, he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. He got us. PayPal stole money from us, our nonprofit. We have a 501c3, and PayPal stole $3,000 from us. And Neil got it back.
wow.
Yeah, he got it back.
Man. Yeah, I'll tell you, man, he met me down at the pizza shop where I used to hang out, and he said, I got to meet the guy that did this. And I was like, yeah, man, I didn't know that you could get medication online. And it seems like a perfect match for what he's doing to what I'm doing. I mean, it couldn't have been a more ideal combination.
Yeah.
Because somebody else, I think somebody else inevitably would have done this, but they probably wouldn't have cared as much about it. They'd have just taken whatever they were given. And
They would not have had
fought
the tenacity that you have.
Yeah.
That's what's admirable about this. That's my take
Yeah.
from all this is you're a special individual in that regard where you fought for yourself and wouldn't put up for anything else. And I can respect the hell out of that.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of people, and the saddest part about this whole thing to me is that I basically had to sacrifice my kids in order to have this happen. Okay? And that right there, it's not like I was ever going to win, but that bothers me the most. And now I'm glad, I'm telling you, I'm more proud of myself by sticking to my guns. Because I'm telling you, I had the world against me. Truly.
I don't think a win like that you've described, I don't think that could come without severe sacrifices, because that's like an exceptional way to, protect yourself and help this all along.
Well, I look at it this way. I could have stayed on the path that they wanted me on, of which, by the way, they never wanted a drug test the whole time I was on narcotics. But as soon as I started using cannabis, it was like, no, we need drug tests now. I was like, man, ain't that funny?
Yeah, because they want you to fail for opiates to be like, see, this is what he needs to be on.
Yeah, but look, I gave him the option a couple of years ago to do the at-home test because of the pandemic. And then I told him, I said, look, I go to the VA, I get drug tested there. I'll just give you the results. I never got a reply. So it's like they can't even bring it up in court now. You guys, if you are able to come, I strongly suggest it. And to answer your question from yesterday, you would not be wasting a 3-hour trip. This is going to be an all-day affair. And a lot of good people are going to be testifying. And I think it's going to go off without a hitch. I have no doubt that it will. So it's not just winning the reimbursement and getting the money back for your medication. It's the idea that you can get this without taking the money out of your pocket. You could do it just like the pharmacy. And that, I think, is going to change the industry completely. It's going to turn big pharma on its head. At least I expect it to.
I'm surprised you haven't been murdered by big pharma. Literally,
I'm scared to fly, dude. I'm
not kidding. I mean, I would imagine that you got a huge target on your back.
Listen, when I say that to people, they go, man, it's just marijuana. I go, dude, you realize what it's about to do to the entire nation?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody else got their insurance to cover their cannabis. You're the only one.
I'm the only person in the whole world.
Yes, sir.
I like to tell people there are more billion-dollar lottery ticket winners than me.
Yeah,
that's true. So, but I don't want it to be true. And as a matter of fact, I honestly wish somebody else would have done this so that I would have been able to take advantage of it as a disabled vet.
Sure. Well, that will be the next people. You have served as that resource, and you will be that for them.
Well, I'm glad to be. I just, like I said, man, I'm so I'm burnt out on the whole thing now to the point where I'm tired of dealing with it. So, but I've been doing this now with the insurance company for 17 years, and I'm getting the impression that their attorney doesn't think that I can go for another 17. And I don't mean live 17. I mean keep things exactly the way that they are. And he doesn't know is all I can say. But he'll find out on Monday. And like I said, I highly suggest being there, man, because it's going to be something that's going to set the whole thing in motion in the future. Everybody's going to look back on this one case and go, look, that's the one we refer to, no matter what state you're in, because you've got to honor states' rights. So, yeah. And if you guys got, I would highly suggest going back after that insurance company that cut you off, man. I really would.
Yeah, that doctor screwed me over. Had one doctor screw me.
All it takes is one.
Yeah. Do you use a wheelchair sometimes?
No, I might I might use the little cart thing at like the grocery store if I gotta walk around a whole bunch. I can make it short distances without too much problem. My big problem is I don't feel my legs from the knees down. And my ankles, they bend in half. So I've broken one ankle already, and the other one, just like I said, it's like having a club foot. So walking around is just, then my doctors think I'm nuts because I want a full amputation from the knees down. Because this is dangerous. It's dangerous to walk around on legs you can't feel. So I figure if I'm not going to feel my legs, I might as well just get really cool legs that I can do stuff with. I mean, does that make sense? Because I don't know. I tell you, man, if I got some of these new metal legs, I could probably run around the block. But yeah, these things are worthless to me now.
Well, at least you can walk, though, because I tell you, in New Jersey, the disabled vets in wheelchairs can't do a lot of things in a lot of places. There's post offices without wheelchair access, police stations without wheelchair access. We just went to a post office, set up a ramp, and I took my wheelchair up a ramp that had no business. It was not compliant, but
no, it was a very steep angle.
He had to push me up the ramp, and then we went into the post office, bought stamps, and then came down, and they charged us. The police charged us with harassment and filming inside a post office instead of the human rights violation.
Yeah, they felt that it was an attack on them. Yeah, in some regard.
They said,
but that's not against the law anyway. To
Exactly.
film inside the front of a post office is totally legal. Man.
Yeah, the officer. We tried to. We did inform him on that.
Yeah, he was pretty ignorant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
man. I don't know where you guys are. If you're both in Jersey or whatever, I don't know how it is there, but in Delaware, they let these guys become cops before they know the first thing about the law, and it's ridiculous. I get tired of explaining the Constitution to police officers.
Yeah, none of them, not a lot of them know it. There's no like refresher course in the Constitution in the academy. If they know it, it's because they did it on their own accord.
Well, you should know it just for that job.
Well, sure. If you're going to defend your oath to protect the Constitution, if you don't know what it is, how can you properly protect it?
Well, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I just saw a kid flip off a cop the other day on a video, and I laughed because the cop, I mean, a couple of my friends are actually cops, and if you flip them off, you know what they do? They'd wave. They'd say, "Have a nice day, sir." This cop his ego jumped out of his chest, and he had to turn around and go back and school this teenager on flipping him off. And the teenager scolded him. He said, "Look, man, what law am I breaking?" He said, "Well, you're not breaking a law." He said, "But I told you to stop moving." And then he said, "Am I being arrested or being detained?" He said, "Neither." He said, "Well, then what am I doing talking to you?" Dude, I mean, like, come on, man. See, that example is unfortunate because it happens so much.
Yeah, it's not just Delaware. It's not just New Jersey or whatever state that video took place in. It's everywhere.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, man. It was about it was maybe about 3-4 months into the pandemic when everybody was getting mass crazy, and we went into the Plaza local here, and my mom and I were just going to get pizza from one place and wings from another. And I went into Wings to Go, and I went to pay, and I think the bill was 21 and 75 or something. It involved change. And I had to come back anyway. So I said, I got to go over to the pizza shop. You mind if I just bring you back exact change? And it became a whole issue. She says, "No, you have to do it all right now." I said, "Oh, you're one of those people. I hate petty people, man. They just get on my nerves." Okay. The world is already hard enough at that time. People just find ways to make it harder. So I said, "You know what?" I slapped down $5 on the counter. I left her like $4 in a tip just so I didn't have to carry change. She picks up the phone and I hear security.
Oh, wow.
I'm hard. I immediately I think, well, I'm not going to leave the scene of nothing I did wrong, but I'm still not going to. I got to go get the pizza. So I went outside, and here comes a security guard. What seems to be the problem? I said, "Look, man, you do whatever you need to do. Call the cops. Nothing's going on. I paid my bill. The wings are already gone. I told my mom to take off already so I could wait for you clowns." Okay? I sat and waited on a curb for 15 minutes. I knew he was calling the cops. No problem. I got tired of waiting, got up, walked over to the pizza shop, and I even informed him. I said, "Listen, whoever you called, you let them know I'm going to be over at the pizza shop waiting on my pizza." I was only there 5 minutes. 2 cops walk in, one to my right, one stands to my left. The one to my left says 3 times, "Sir, what seems to be the problem?" After the 3rd time, of which I didn't even react. I didn't even turn my head. I faced forward. I didn't move. My silence just totally was just robbing him in his brain. And on the 3rd time he said this, I turned my head, I looked at him, and I said, "You're dismissed."
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yeah. See, when you can learn silence as a power like that, you've completely disrupted his comfort zone, and then you
I was renting space in his brain for free, no doubt.
They were smart. They flanked you. They started off with the flank movement. I love the flank. The flanking.
Well, listen. The best part is that as soon as I dismiss this dummy, the guy on the right, man, he snatches me off this bar stool so fast.
Wow, really?
And this is a month and a half after George Floyd, right? The same move. Knee in the back, right to the top of or right at the base of the neck anyway.
Whoa.
And he I swear to God. And then my buddy,
"Stop resisting." Does he start saying "stop resisting"?
Oh, that was immediate. And I said, "Look, I'm not."
Do that when they start beating you up. When they beat you up, they have to say "start resisting,"
Yeah.
then they kick your ass.
Yeah.
Well, listen, the best part is, at least at this point, is I said, "I'm not resisting." I said, "What?" I yelled out, "What am I under arrest for?" That confused him. And he had to think for a split second. And then he said this. He said, "Resisting arrest." And I thought, okay, I'm under arrest for resisting arrest.
That's why. Oh my God.
So I said, "Say cheese." I said, "Say cheese, asshole, because you're on camera." And he looked up, and there was a camera right there in his face, right in the corner of the bar. And now my buddy, the pizza shop owner, comes out and sees them basically messing me up in the damn floor, slap the cuffs on me, take me outside. Now, I'm going to tell you after this, it gets super fun for me because I love to berate cops. I love to show them what freedom of speech is. Okay?
Ah.
They put me on the curb with the cuffs on so tight that, I mean, it was cutting into my skin. I got scars from it.
Yeah. Got to give you a bruise the next day. They got to.
Yeah. Let you know they were there.
Yep.
So, man, I'm telling you, with 2 cops there already, the one cop leaves and goes down to talk to the people at the wings to go. The cop that stays behind to, I guess, babysit me, I'm telling you, I told him, you remember, because when you're wearing a mask, all you can see is eyes. And eyes tell everything. It's amazing. They just give everything away, man. I told the one cop, I said, if you had long hair and titties, I would fuck the shit out of you. And he, oh my God, I could see the eyeballs just pop out of his head. And I'm like, see, you can't say nothing, can you? Right? It's called freedom of speech. Did you forget that? You forgot that one, didn't you? I'm totally screwing with this guy. And there's nothing he can do about it because I'm neither arrested nor detained. And nobody's even told me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have fun with this whole situation because guess what? I'm going to go home and eat pizza and wings. Okay? I kept telling the cops I'm going to go home and eat pizza and wings. They said, you're going to jail. Now, after 5 cops are there, the one cop gets so angry at me that he said, that's it. He yanks me up off the curb. He says, and he goes to throw me in the back of a canine unit. And he stops and he goes, wait a minute. Are you allergic to animals? I said, yeah, animals, cops, guns, get all of it, all of the above. That was a little game he was playing. He was never going to put me in the back of the cop car. I knew it. He knew it. That was a little threat. So he put me back on the curb. I'm like, you guys just don't know, do you? He said, well, you're right. We don't because you won't identify. I said, because it's not against the law. You didn't catch me in the commission of a crime. I don't have to tell you who I am. I'm Bugs Bunny. Whatever. They're so frustrated with me by the end of it. They get on the phone with the judge. And the judge tells them, look, man, you're not bringing this guy to jail. All they did was uncuff me and hand me a ticket, of which I politely signed as hard as I could on the hood of the county cop's car. I'm pretty sure I got the signature in the paint. So the very next morning, you know what I did? Because I wasn't happy about the fact that they messed me up. When at the very end of that little confrontation, you know what the cop said to me? Why didn't you tell us you were a vet? No, why didn't you tell us you were a vet? I said, why do I have to be a vet to not get my ass kicked?
That's why they want to identify you right away. They want to know how much they should be beating you up.
Exactly. I know. I know.
Where are you from? How much money do you make? And how many punches am I going to give you?
Exactly. So the next morning, I took a friend of mine. We walked over to Troop 2, and it was troopers. It wasn't county. It was troopers. We walked into Troop 2 with a tablet, and we videoed the whole thing. I walked up to the counter. I said, I need to speak to a supervisor. And right away, I knew I had a fresh fish right on the line. She says, sir, you can't record. And she said, you can't record in here. I said, yes, I can, ma'am. She said, you cannot record in my building. I said, well, now we have another issue because this isn't your building. Okay? It doesn't belong to you. I said, and I am allowed to record in the foyer of this police station. So within about 45 seconds, 6 state troopers show up at the front of the police station. They had to have all been eating donuts in the same spot to show up that fast at the same time. It's impossible. They show up. They tell me, basically that I am allowed to record because once I got a sergeant, once I got a supervisor there that actually knew what they were talking about, they had to address everyone else. No, he is allowed to record in here. And then the rest of them were all put on check. And then I got an interview about the incident from yesterday right on the spot. I love this is another thing I don't think I'm going to be allowed to have in the courtroom on Monday, unfortunately, is a camera. So, and this is why I want one for instances like that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm sorry that was a little bit of a story out of touch with what we were talking about, but
No, that
since
fired
we're
me up.
Yeah.
That got me going. Yeah.
hey, and no coverage on the news about the vet getting messed up in the pizza shop by the cops. But George Floyd, no doubt he should have, but I think every one of them should have attention called to him, not just one, not just that guy, all of them. Because until you identify all of them, that's why we got the problems between races, because you identify one with just one race. Now it becomes an issue. If you identify the fact that everyone gets messed up by the cops, no matter who the hell you are, it's status, not skin color.
Yeah. Well, it's
That's,
amazing.
I mean, that's what it is.
It's amazing how they love with that resistant arrest. They start shouting that because they want members of the public to see you getting beat up, and they have to start saying resistant arrest. They have to flip the script immediately, make themselves look like you're the asshole.
It's a defense. And by the way, in court, you know why he said he took me off the bar stool like he did? He said, I started clenching my hands.
He felt threatened. That's how they're able to beat you up. They just say, "Oh, I felt threatened."
I guess just me breathing, he felt threatened.
Yeah, because at any moment you could do something to him, so he has every right to feel threatened. So that gives him the right to then start beating you up and then say, "Stop resisting." It's a shame.
It is, and you know what? I pled guilty to the one charge of resisting arrest because I had this case and everything coming up. And I didn't want anything hindering it. And to be honest with you, paying $300 was a hell of a lot easier than dragging this out to a trial, which I know I would have won. But like I said, I live in a Washington state, so at least, I can have this expunged at some point if I choose. So it's not a big deal. Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking you, how'd you wind up in the wheelchair?
No, I use it occasionally. I can walk. I can walk, but I can't walk a long way. Like if I know I'm going to be out for the day, I try to use my chair because I can't make it very long. I have really bad sciatic pain that I deal with. I have neuropathy in my arms and legs, and I have degenerative disc disease. I have failed back syndrome. Yeah, and I got failed back syndrome. I got stenosis. All that fun stuff. I got artificial disc L4, L5, fusion L5S1, and a 2-level cervical. Plus, I had my shoulder worked on a couple of years ago, and that's all messed up still. And I use cannabis, a lot of cannabis, a lot of edible, a lot of dabs. I use a lot of dabs for my
man.
pain.
Listen, dude, I swear to God, in the way that Neil and I, well, we kind of resembled each other when we first met. I think you're my doppelganger as far as your situation, no doubt. Because,
yeah, it sounds like it.
Dude, I'm telling you, sciatica was so bad for me. And that's one of the top 10 most painful things that you can feel. I mean, it truly is. It broke me down. And I was 24 years old and I couldn't walk more than 10, 15 feet. And I had like little kids and strollers and shit and had to carry around. And I'm like, there's no way.
No. That ain't happening. No.
Yeah. And man, it blew my back out doing everything I was doing. Plus I was a diesel mechanic, working 2 jobs and taking care of kids. So, and with degenerative disc disease, your spine don't last long.
No.
I mean, yeah, the warranty starts after you get the surgery, and then it's like, how many miles do you get out of that surgery? You just don't know. So, yeah, man, I tell you what, it's, and people look at you, they'll say, man, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with you, Patrick. And I go, really? Well, that's nice.
I love
that's
that.
Good.
That's great. God blesses me then.
Yeah, right. No, there's not anything wrong with me because I have cannabis.
That's right. So, I got a lot of cannabis. I'm stoned as fuck right now. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. No doubt. But I feel for you, dude. I hate the fact that you got to be in a wheelchair, though, man. That sucks, man. That really does. I've thought about it, but man, I'll tell you, as long as I can keep going. Yesterday, I couldn't move. I mean, all I did was walk to my neighbor's house and get on my knees and help her. What do you call it? Hold the tree in place so that she could, put it in the base. I came back home and it felt like I had, man, like
That's
it'd
what you
been in
call
a
it.
fight.
That's what you call it now.
What's that?
It sounds sexy. Putting the tree in the base. Is that what? That's what it's called?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, sweet.
I like that. It's hot.
Uh-huh.
Wait till my neighbor hears that. She's gonna crack up, man. She's this sweet old lady. She's 80 years old, man.
Oh, happy holidays.
She's gonna go, oh, you guys, you're so bad.
You dirty boy.
Yeah.
It's funny. Well,
Yeah, it's real.
You never know.
Yeah, right. No, I don't know, man. She's a hardcore Christian, and I'm a full blown Satanist. So,
Oh, that's the cutest couple right there.
The
That's
opposites attract.
Yeah,
man. That'll work
that's
out
a good
great.
friendship.
That'll work.
I love
really,
that.
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, I'm telling you. No, but I'll tell you what, she's one of the people that helped me get through this process. When I started with CannaSense, no joke, I discovered CannaSense online, and that's when I realized you could only pay with a card. I said, man, look, a month's worth of cannabis for me on this menu is going to cost me about 20 grand. No joke. She went, well, I have a credit card with $20,000 on it. And I looked over at her and I said, you got to be kidding me. She said, no, I do. She said she took it right out of her purse. I swear to God, she handed it right to me like it was nothing. And she said, yeah, just give it back to me when you're done. I said, okay. And I did. And I ordered the first month, got the reimbursement check. Boom. Then I had to do it another month before we got the billing worked out.
Oh, come on, man.
Sean.
Wait, what?
This is like a.
Oh.
The story gets crazier and crazier as you go down the line, man. I promise.
Oh, man. That's really awesome. Wait a minute. Nice Christian lady. That's great. That's really cool.
That's it.
Yeah, it truly is. It makes me totally thankful that for the whole process, because otherwise I'd have never come to know all these people like I do. I mean, yeah, it feels good to have people step up behind you like that. Like I said, Neil, he come in on it like, last year, about to be halfway through April. And man, ever since, it's like, boom. Every time I call him, man, he picks up the phone. He's like, what's up, Patrick? What's going on, man? He was ready to help me, with my attorney and everything, man. So I got a lot of people behind me. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people that weren't even backing me up years ago. My mom was my biggest detractor. She hated that I smoked weed. And now, you know what she does? No joke. You will laugh your ass off. And I think sometimes she tries to do it in secret, but she will call the radio stations and brag about my case to the radio host.
You're going to say it. You're changing the world, Patrick. She's proud of you. I mean, that is amazing. You know, I love how she's doing it on the down low. Like, hope she don't want you to find out about how much she loves it.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. I crack up at it, but I'm glad at least she was around to see it. My dad wasn't, and he was coming around. I was actually helping my dad a lot before he passed. I was making my own oil at one point, and he died from what's called damn it, I'll think of it here. It's really rare. Pulmonary hypertension. And it's really messed up, man. it involves a lot of really crazy medication and this thing that has to be like basically wired into your chest, and it's messed up. But I was giving him oil, and man, I was rubbing oil on his legs and stuff, and man, I could tell he was helping him. It's just everybody else was still anti-pot, anti-weed. And I say, listen, and man, if it helps you and it don't kill you and you ain't hurting other people, then man, stay out of my way. Just
Right. Even if a person doesn't believe it has medical benefits, if someone is saying this helps me, it makes me feel better, what kind of a person are you to try to deny them that right?
absolutely. And you know what? There's still such a number of people that are like that, that are so backwards on it. I mean, people that'll say, well, but if it was legal, and I go, well, wait a minute. You'll go and sit at the bar and get trashed and then go get in your car and drive home. That's not legal. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
most of those people, they're victims of prohibition. They're just on the other side of the fence. But there's like the 1%er of the prohibitionists who like profit from it. And those are the real giant, like horrible people.
oh, there's no question about it. I mean, just look at how much they benefited by keeping the secrets of marijuana under the rug. I didn't know that Israel was doing the majority of our testing for cannabis since 1972. It was a company by the name of Tikkun. And it's this one guy that they basically allow to grow a massive crop legally, but none of it's allowed to be entered through the FDA. Of which I got to tell you, this is all coming down. This is all basically crashing down around the government's head. Their ignorance of marijuana means that we all benefit now, is the best way I look at it.
Well, be careful, because Kevin Sabet is writing helping to write the new law, national law.
And he's been making millions and millions of dollars of trying to keep weed illegal. And
I think no, wait a minute. But see, I've got two different schools of thought on that. Okay, the black market is always going to be the market. It's always going to be. You're never going to. It's like anything else. It's like any other drug, especially any drug that has properties like opiates or a cerebral value. It's the same thing. So, I lost myself there. Put me back on track.
We're talking about Kevin Sabet.
Where was that?
Makes millions.
That's right.
Himself. He doesn't even he probably believes nothing that he preaches because he makes money off of it.
He lies.
Well, it's just like John Boehner did that. John Boehner was Speaker of the House for all that time and knocked marijuana and then got out. And look at him. He's a fat rat in the industry.
Now he's a gangster, yeah.
So, listen, nobody's going to stop it. I mean, there's going to be people in the middle that, they're going to profit from trying to stop it. But listen, you got to be talking about maybe 60, 70, maybe even more % of this country that smokes pot. I mean, we're talking about a lot of politicians. We're talking about a lot of people that under the radar, behind closed doors, they're going, man, what the hell? Really, guys? We're still there?
I bet Kevin smokes weed.
I bet every president since the dawn has smoked weed. There's just no way it couldn't be true. I bet George Washington would be rolling over in his grave right now if he saw what we were doing to this industry.
Yeah, and he was watching cops.
I mean, we wouldn't have a national debt. What's that?
And he's watching cops beat people up at the rate that it's happening. All these things.
Oh, my favorite family probably was Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, well, Thomas Jefferson will always be my favorite because he rewrote the Bible. So, and he left out all the miracles. He really did that on his own press. And I've always admired that because he's a realist. So, I mean, slavery and all that aside, he still was the man when it comes to the founding fathers.
Never mind the slavery. Never mind that little blemish.
At least he touched on it. At least he touched on it.
A little hiccup.
I respect that you touched on it and
hiccup.
pushed it right out of the way. That is literally the appropriate thing to do when you have a position. You just touch on it.
Let's not talk about all the rape and the
keep it moving.
Murder, probably.
Well, look, I mean, it's just like when the Queen died, and like my mom and my neighbor that I was telling you about, she used to live in England. She was all about the Queen, and I was like, "Oh, you mean the condoner of pedophilia and rapists?" And and she was like, "Oh my God, she did not." I was like, "Yes, she did. Oh, yes, she did." But see, my mom would go, "Look, are we going to focus on that part or the fact that the woman served in the war and did all this other cool stuff?" And I mean, she protected her kids, which was probably fucked up and wrong, but she lived to be 96 years old. She's got to get some credit, man. So, yeah, like I said, aside from the slavery bit and probably a few other messed up things he did, yeah, he was my favorite. But then again, they were all into that, so. But yeah, man, I'm big on history, but putting it together the way I think it went down and staying out of books.
Yeah, sure.
So, and especially reading about the history of marijuana in this country is, and I keep hearing it change a little bit from time to time. Who brought it? Everything. So I'm sure there's a little bit of fact in all the fiction, but
Well, that's where I blame the founding fathers, because they should have fought the Civil War back in the 1700s instead of waiting another 100 years of just awful abuse of people, of human misery. Slavery
that was profitable. That was truly profitable. I mean,
yeah. They didn't feel they had enough votes or whatever, but hey, take a stand. If you believe in those words that you wrote, that every man is created equal, if you believe in that, you should have fought for that while you had the chance. Because
men was subject to interpretation for them.
And now Washington was a great general. He killed a lot of people for us, but I don't know, man. He's not a very good president because
those were the great men of the time.
I don't know, man. He didn't stand up for black people or women or the disabled.
Well, I mean, if you're a politician, it's impossible to get everybody. So you get the people that are going to give you money. That's
yeah, I know. I can imagine the dynamics back then.
Yeah,
it exists today. It's just now it's
different. Yeah,
the numbers are just so much more like I love hearing about the national debt, and I go, we are literally like half of it, the world's debt, and I go, how is that possible? I mean, I truly don't understand that. I mean, I'm sure there's a mathematical equation to it, but
people don't
that's a lot of dough.
People don't like paying attention to those kinds of facts.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, they'd rather send you like a TikTok link, which I do all day to like friends,
You guys like that TikTok shit? I don't mess with no social media or nothing.
Social media, I'm going to admit, it's like a drug. It's like anything else, for as often as you pick up the phone and try to see like your social media, however often I do it, I consider it too much. It's more than I want to do it. And that is the definition of an addiction in a sense.
It's good for activism.
That's exactly what it is. I try to use my social media as a platform to put positive energy into the world. I could even have, I could be having a bad day where I'd rather choose to put positive energy out there into the world, because that's what people are going to be picking up. That's what they're going to be absorbing. They're going to transfer. Your energy is going to be transferred through the things you say and the things you speak. So it might as well be something good. And I do use that for that reason.
I've just went up until I think it was the end of August. Yeah, August of this year. I didn't have a cell phone for 3.5 years. And that was since cell phones became big, 98, 99. And I had one ever since. That was the happiest 3.5 years I ever had. And it was I didn't couldn't pay the bill or something. The last phone that I had before this, I bent it in half. And I sat it on the dining room table. I said, I'm done. And I was, man, and I meant it. And I went all the way across the country. I did all kinds of cool things with no phone. Literally. I would call people from a Domino's. I wouldn't care where I was. I mean, dude, I made it. But it was truly enjoyable because I didn't have that thing in my pocket that just annoyed the piss out of me all the
Oh,
time.
you mean your ID tracker? Yeah. Well, now there's no payphones though, so you're forced.
There's no what?
There's no payphones.
Yeah.
You're forced to have a phone. You have to.
Wait a minute. I don't have to do. Listen, I had
Yeah, I know you
date.
don't like those choice of words. Those are like fighting
Those are
words.
fighting
The way I said that with those, yeah.
I'm not. Well, look, like I said, I don't. I truly don't. And the first opportunity I get to burn this one, I'm going to do it, and that's probably going to be. I mean, I don't do computers. I don't do any of it, man, because I see. I started seeing the problems with it when I was in high school, and that I graduated '99, and I was like, man, I'm somebody that once I dip my toe into something and I decide I'm going to be good at something, then that's what I'm going to do. And I said computers are bad for me because then I'll be hacking the shit out of everybody and everything, and I'll be in jail. And that's exactly why I never went after anything in that industry. I stay away from it. And I don't want to know anything about it. I truly don't. I want to pay somebody to maybe know the stuff about it, but not, I don't want to, listen, I'm to the point now where I don't even want to smoke. If I could make a device where someone else could dab for me and somehow transfer the effect, I would do it. I'm not a lazy person. I just don't want to keep doing the same stuff and sitting and staring at screens. And it's just, no, I can't do it, man. People walking into cars and into lakes and shit because they can't get their face out of their phone.
Now, those are funny videos. I'll stare at my phone all day watching those videos.
Well, the secret about those videos is you have to have your face in a phone to watch them. Yeah. So that's the magic of it all.
So to see those videos, I have to have my face in the phone.
You have to face phone it.
Well, yeah, you could be sitting down having lunch as well too, and not walking down the sidewalk. I mean,
lunch. Hey, let's go get some food.
What a boring walk it is without my phone.
I'm so hungry.
Right?
It's a cordless leash, is what it is.
Yeah. Did you know that?
That's great. A cordless leash.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's amazing.
That's a good one, yeah. Did you know that ring companies have contracts with police departments across the country so they can look in your ring phone, like your that you have security camera? So, like at any given time, like if they feel the need to look at your camera, they can. It's in the contract. It's in the terms and conditions. And people wind up, spying on themselves.
Damn it, I just told that whole police story. They probably monitored the whole thing or something, man. Damn. Man, listen, this is exactly why I don't agree with phones. I mean, listen, this is the first time I've ever done some video stuff like this before, man. Sure. Ever. So
it's people ruin everything. There's bad people that will ruin everything. Pizza. You get good pizza, you get bad pizza. Some people don't know how to cook it. There's always going to be people who are going to ruin things. And sometimes with technology, that's, you see that.
Well, dude, I don't see really any benefit after the telegraph and like maybe the really like slow, like first telephones where you really had to work to communicate with someone. That to me, that was ideal. Like even give me a beeper. Because like I could silence it or I could just like put it in my pocket and forget that it was there or whatever. But the cell phone thing is like, you can't even state something to somebody as a fact without somebody going, no, it's just on Google and that's not true. And,
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No more beauty in not knowing things.
I used to like to wait to have to get home to call a girl.
I used
to like fun.
I used to like when you would ask someone a question, they'd be like, I don't know, man. They used to feel good.
Exactly. Yeah.
I missed the hell out of that. And I wait for someone to like reignite my juices and like human being likeness, and no one does it. Like, oh, they got the answer. They're an expert. I'm like, this sucks. Like, everyone's a test. They don't know it. And they just always have the answer. I'm like, you failed.
Well, I saw a thing that shows that teenagers that were brought up on cell phones, the growing mind, when they do brain scans, one side of the brain is bigger than the other. I can't imagine that being good long term. Cell phones are technically for humans fairly new. So I can't imagine all the problems that we're going to be having in the near future with the people that started with them. They're going to start getting 60, 70 years old and go, man, what's this big knot in my head for, man?
Our thumbs are going to grow. They're going to be like elongated. So they're like extra texting, like digits.
We're going to evolve, man.
Yeah. Yep.
That's great. We're going to evolve around the phone, man. That's how we're going to do it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever seen the Yes Men?
Have you, Lefty?
What is it?
Yes Men?
It's the Yes Men.
Yes Men.
I'm not familiar
Yes.
with it.
No.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, man, you guys would get such a kick out of that, man. These guys go around and they pretend like they're people that they're not, and that they're with one corporation or whatever, and they get important people into a building and they do seminars and they make it sound super serious and everything, and it's all a big spoof, but they take it. I mean, these are like Harvard graduates and shit, and they came up with this plan to serve people in third world countries with a system through McDonald's where you could pick, no joke, you could pick value meals. Now, like if you pick the number one, that's like the burger straight from the cow. And then all the way down the list is basically the food converted like they do on the space station back to burgers. And it's the further it gets down the chain, the cheaper it is.
What?
I swear to God.
Oh, God.
So after you basically poop the cheeseburger out, okay, it gets put through the machine and get made into a new cheeseburger that somebody else buys at a discounted rate. And then that person poops out that cheeseburger, and so on and so forth, man. It's like a what do you call it? Centipede, but without being joined to somebody's butt.
Oh.
But they're taking it totally seriously. The crowd is, man. They're like, oh my God, man, yeah, shit, we could do that, all to save some money.
Well, every glass of water that you drink has been through 10 people already.
I mean, I knew that before, but now that you say it again, it just kind of like, it makes you taste your mouth a little bit and go, no, there's no pee there. It's cool. Yeah. Oh, that's foul, man. Oh, dude, there's all kinds of stuff in the water that you drink. Dude, there's saliva. Dude. Wow. And in what you eat, there's acceptable levels of spider legs and roach legs and parts and everything in every box of cereal.
Yum.
Now I'm hungry.
Roach legs.
Man.
Yum.
Yeah, man, let's go get some food, bro.
Any maggots? Any beef jerky you've heard of? I want extra food.
Want to go to Houlihan's?
You hungry?
Yeah, let's go to Houlihan's.
All right.
Are you guys in Jersey?
Yeah.
Yes.
Both of you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we did have a Houlihan's down here, and now it's called Bahama Breeze.
Bahama Breeze.
I know.
Yeah.
There's a couple around here.
Excuse me?
There's a couple. We have Bahama Breeze around here. There's a couple.
There is, yeah.
Hmm?
Okay.
It's pretty decent. Their drinks suck. They're too weak, but they got good food. Yeah, but no Houlihan's no more. I missed Houlihan's. They were pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, we had Thanksgiving there.
Yes, we did.
Oh wow. I didn't know
Yeah.
they did Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they did a Thanksgiving plate.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
So you're in North Jersey, you said?
Yeah. Yeah. Monday, we'll let you know. What's the address of this? Like, if people want to go, what's the address? Where's the building called?
To look it up online, just write Delaware Industrial Accident Board.
Okay, Industrial Accident Board.
Yeah,
off.
it'll pop right up. The address will.
Okay, and they have a committee room, I guess, and it's a board. How many people are on this board?
There's 3, and there's an attorney.
Oh,
So well, I don't know if they changed it from the first and second time because it's been a while, but the last time we had a hearing, it was a different kind of hearing. But I saw 4 people back there instead of 3. I thought it was only supposed to be 2 board members and an attorney. The attorney being a tiebreaker if there's a tie between the 2 board members. So I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure, but it's a fairly small room. The only seating there is a bench on the back that is basically like the length of the wall. So I mean, if there's going to be additional people coming that you have, I mean, we'll just have to let them know in advance because it's still a public hearing. I don't give a damn what anybody says. If we got to bring seats into that damn room, we will. So because I'm going to have quite a few people there. So, well, I mean, not a lot, but I know my barber's coming. I got a couple people coming. So, but if you want to have some people show up, support wise, that's great. I'm just letting you know in advance. It's an all day deal from 8:30 till 4, and we'll just have to work with the seating situation as it goes. So,
I bring my own chair.
well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Other than you, I'm just yeah. But like I said, it's a pretty tight room, and it's always in the same room for some reason. But they're pretty lax, like I said, with what you bring in. I'm pretty sure the last time I was there, we didn't check no phones. So, I saw people sitting there with phones. So we'll see. But if you are, I would recommend being there at least like 20 minutes early, just so I get an idea how many people, I'm going to have to get seats for, so I can let them know up at the desk.
Right on.
So,
Yeah, right on.
but yeah, man, it's all set to go. I'm excited, man. Neil's thrilled, attorney's thrilled. And it's all on paper, dude. I swear. When you read my case, if you haven't already, you'll see. They shouldn't even be stupid enough to take me to court, but that's how big insurance companies work. They just throw money at things. And they're trying to throw money at me, and I'm just like a roach, dude. I'm not going away. I'm just here, dude. So, by the way, that was the last hearing that we did have. I think you'll find this interesting. They took me to court over my very frequent phone calls to Travelers Insurance. As you know, in a situation like mine, you're not supposed to be able to contact the insurance company. However, in 2018, I wanted to know how I could get permission. And my attorney said, well, that's simple. All I could do is give you written permission. So I was already on the phone with them, and they said, well, we can't talk to you, Mr. Calix. I said, well, why not? They said, well, we're in litigation. I said, well, technically, we're not in litigation. They said, well, if you want to talk to us, you need written permission. I said, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I hung up, called my attorney. I said, I need you to send this lady an email, okay, saying that I could talk to him. Most attorneys would never agree to that. But my attorney, knowing what my situation is, goes, yeah, I'm going to give Patrick permission to talk to her. So I called her right back. I said, you get that email? She goes, yeah, I got the email. She's never thought that my attorney was going to send it. Wow. So for I don't know how many years now, I've been blowing their phone up. And I make no bones about it. If you're my adjuster and you don't return my phone calls and you send me a letter in the mail saying that if I have any questions or concerns to call, then I'm going to do so. Okay. Well, they tried to come back with the excuse, well, that's just a computer generated letter. I said, I don't care. It's addressed to me. There's no expiration date on it, man. Lady, what are you talking about? I said, listen, I have permission now to speak with you whether you like it or not. Now we can move forward and you can give me the information that I want, or you don't have to. And we went back and forth all the way up until just 3-4 months ago, until I finally made my last phone call. And it was premeditated. I had all this planned out. It was perfect. I said, listen, I know that you think I'm not supposed to be able to call you, and you know that I have written permission. I said, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to a hearing. I said, and I'm going to give you 5 guesses at the number or the people that are going to be there. And she played right into my little game. She said, well, I would imagine you and your attorney and my attorney. I said, and you? She said, excuse me? I said, you're going to be there. She said, no, I will not. I said, watch. And guess who got subpoenaed to be there on Monday? She has to fly all the way up from Tampa, her and her boss. Yeah, buddy. Uh-huh.
I love this guy. Oh,
And
man,
it's 6 days before Christmas. You know what they want to be doing 6 days before Christmas? They ain't flying to goddamn Delaware.
No, sir.
Oh, wow.
No, they want to do.
Dude.
So now, and that's what the last hearing was for. Their attorney got so pissed off because I'm always bad mouthing him when I call the insurance company. I said, you know, your guys extorting you, right?
I feel like guilty because I feel so good, like through all your wins and all this success that you're talking about.
Man.
I feel like extra joy and happiness.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for you.
Well, I'm glad you do, man. I'm glad somebody does finally. Yeah, they took me to court over the phone calls because I was bad mouthing him so bad. I was bad mouthing the insurance company so bad, and I was being clean about it. I wasn't saying nothing derogatory. I wasn't making threats, nothing. I was giving them facts, and I did it on that last phone call. That was the straw that broke the back right there. And then I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know what. And then, boom, we get the notice in the mail to go to court. And you should have seen me that day. I was out of medication. I was not in a good way. So I drank about a pint and a half of vodka. Okay. Got all nice and loosey-goosey. I already knew I wasn't going to get what I wanted out of this hearing. I already knew it. So I figured I might as well just be me. This is going to go well. So we go in, and dude, I'm telling you, I'm 3 sheets to the wind. Everybody in the back of the room can smell it on my breath, man. Dude. And so, look, we started into this hearing, and right away, I can tell that the board member or the attorney with the board, he already don't like me, and I already don't like him. So we start in, and again, this is all about these phone calls. They want to take a break like real early, and I'm like, wait a minute. Because it looks like they're just dismissing us. And I think that they are. I think that they were until I changed it. But I said, wait a minute, hold on. And I said, I want them to know what the phone calls were for. They said, my attorney's going, Patrick, it doesn't matter. I said, the hell it doesn't matter. It does matter. I wouldn't be calling them if I didn't have a reason to. I want them to know why I'm calling. So then everybody was like, no, Patrick, come on, just let's go out into the waiting area. The security was going to escort me out that day. And I still really didn't care because I knew I still wasn't going to get what I wanted. But it turns out the decision that they wrote was neutral. When we went back into the courtroom, the guy that I said that was an attorney, he got loud with me. And I was like, excuse me? And he yelled at me. I jumped right inside his brain. And he jumped out of his chair and he looked at and pointed at me and he said, you are not the law. Ask Neil about this. He says it twice, like screaming it at me. And then I kind of just went, all right, my job's done. I'm just going to sit back and let you guys take it away. And that's what I did because he already just screwed up. Okay, I don't have to do anything else. It doesn't matter how drunk I was. So I get the decision, and the decision isn't anything. They were asking for a fine for every time I call Travelers Insurance for a $300 fine. They didn't get it. They basically said, look, neither one of you are allowed to talk to the other. That's it. So I sent their attorney home packing, excuse me, and the only stipulation is that I'm not allowed to call Travelers Insurance. I said, I don't need to call them anymore. I've been calling them for 10 straight years. They know who I am. And then all they got to do is see bills come across their desk. They know who Patrick Halix is now. So no more calls are required. But he wasted his own client's money just to do that because he's scared of my phone calls. He knows what I call and I tell them. So it'll be, I think, even more interesting to see how long they keep him on as their legal counsel after this. Because you got to cut the cord at some point. You've made a Frankenstein. You've got to put it down. So, yeah, like I said, it was all about phone calls. And, yeah, that's where we're at. But, again, Monday, I'm ready to rock and roll. I hope you guys are there, man. And anybody else, like I said, wants to come, man, and represent. And you'll get to see Neil there testifying as well.
Amazing.
My mother and the neighbor that I told you about. They're all testifying.
Very good.
So, yeah.
Well, Patrick, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man, for taking the time, man. Seriously, I've never got to do anything like this since this whole thing started. And I got to tell you, since I don't do social media, I really did want to put this information out. But the only way I could ever do it, I mean, no joke, I would do it at restaurants. If a waitress gave me great service, fuck, even if she didn't, that might be her tip. Listen, if you slip and fall later on the night, look this up and you're good. Okay.
That's why you have good friends filming you and putting you on social media, because people need to hear these things from you, and that's what social media can be. It can be a platform for that, and I understand that it might be tough to get used to, but you getting your story out and telling us, just the two of us hearing it, we're going to talk about this when we go to eat all night now, and we're going to talk about it.
Well, like I said, I appreciate the opportunity to. Like I said, I'm new to it, but just to be able to get it out there and have people hear it, that's really cool to me. I appreciate really very much that opportunity. I've been looking for it for so long, dude. We started doing something last year, Neil and I, with someone else, and then that kind of didn't go as planned. And so like I said, this is truly the first time I've ever put this out to the public in any other way other than word of mouth. So,
well, you're in good hands with Neil. That's for sure.
I definitely know I am, man.
Neil's the man.
He is. Well, listen, you guys have a great night, and I'm gonna get back to my bird. I hear her over there in the room. She's squawking her head off.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing those stories. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And I listen after it's over with on Monday. If you want to do something else to let people know how it went, if they're interested, then I'm not trying to become no internet like celebrity or nothing, but if I'm going to go this far to put the whole thing out, people are probably going to want to know the verdict. So
let's follow up next week.
Yeah,
let's talk again next week, and if not, we'll see you Monday. If not, we'll talk Thursday.
Yeah, I'm invested in this.
Yeah, I'm 100% in here.
Well, like I said, give me a heads up if you guys do plan on being there on Monday, because in that way I could start figuring the numbers.
Right.
Because I'm going to be there a little bit earlier than everybody else. They might still be trying to come at me with a settlement. Who knows? But I'm still I'm going with Cannabis. So, they've been squawking. So,
amazing commercial for Cannabis there.
Yeah. Real.
What's that?
I have a commercial for Cannabis somewhere. I wasn't ready to play it because let's see if I can find it. Hold on. I have a really good commercial for Cannabis. Let's see. Hold on. Do I have it here? some of my music. Hold on. That would be great if it's here. How do I search in here? Oh, here we go. CannAsense. No, it's in this computer, I believe. I believe it's in this one. Oh, let's see. No, I'm not ready. Oh, well. I have to bring my laptop. But CannAsense, go to cannasense.com and get your cannabis card. They give you a card from California, I believe, right? You become a California patient when you join CannAsense. Is that what happened?
That's what I am now currently.
Yeah, that's what it is. And you can carry, I think, 6 ounces or whatever the California limit is. That's your limit. Because of Obamacare, all the states have to follow each other's states' laws. So if you're a California patient, you can come to New Jersey with 6 ounces. So
absolutely,
there it is.
And Delaware is the same, 6 ounces as well. There
it is. CannAsense makes common sense.
It does.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
We end the show. You might as well stay on with us as we end the show. We're going to play a little clip of somebody. If you have a second, we have a list. You can donate at sativacross.org, cmmnj.org, CannAsense, UFCW, Local 152, jacksonstorms.com, Smoking Monkey, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, and Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop. I'm going to try to play Jeff here. This is I see my video.
Seegert, baby.
It's a Seegert, but it doesn't always work.
Sure. My name is Jeffrey Oakes.
There we go.
From Oceanport, New Jersey, 60 Pemberton Avenue. It's good to be out again, speaking publicly. I've been a little under the weather, to say the least. I had 50% of my liver removed in April. And I'm here to talk tonight about medical cannabis and the ban. You guys have a ban in place on the sale of medical cannabis, correct?
In the town of Seabrook, yes.
That's what I'm here to talk about. And I understand the demographics of Seagar. It's a small town, and the dispensary wouldn't necessarily fit in to the town. And we get that. But when the towns all band together, it creates a terrible shortage of medication for the patients that are in the New Jersey medical marijuana program that overwhelmingly, probably up to 75% of the citizens of the state support. My friends here, they're artists, they're performers. We have fun with our illnesses. We're all very seriously ill, some of us. So what I would ask is everybody just relax and try to have an open mind and hear us out, because we have no lawyers with us. We have no doctors with us. Medication that we use is illegal at the federal level, but yet it's legal for us to carry and use in accordance with the Board of Health. But the fact that the program is so young, it's difficult for the patients to navigate, and the politics of it, which we're here tonight addressing, becomes very difficult for us. I've been dealing with cancer for 4 years, and at the same time, I've been fighting to have my medication be normalized and be given respect without a stigma. And I know that stigma exists. For this past weekend, I was assaulted for medicating in public by just another citizen who took offense to me. That person is under arrest today. And that's what I have to go through, and my friends have to go through, to use a medication that is safer than what is offered by pharmaceutical companies, and that is, the source of our opioid appetite here in New Jersey and across the United States. What I would ask the council here tonight is to, this may sound weird, I guess, but keep your ban, but at the same time, consider a resolution that would support medical cannabis rather than just saying no to cannabis, to medical cannabis. And that would help the patients a lot. I mean, I stand here today as a recipient of my own activism. And my friends also took a big part in the legislation that is known now as Jake's Law. That was passed about 2 months ago, signed into effect by the governor. And I stand here before you tonight, take a good look at me if you will. I'm probably one of the first patients in New Jersey to have an unlimited monthly amount of cannabis, being I'm considered terminal. So that's what we're up against. And I'm up here literally dying in front of you, advocating for myself and advocating for there's probably over 60,000 patients here in New Jersey. And it's only going to get bigger. And the goal of most of the patients that I'm familiar with is to stay active with their disabilities, treat their disease or their ailment, and not be hooked on dangerous pharmaceuticals. People want choice. That's what it's about. It's not about recreation. It's not about getting your get out of jail free card so you can get high. You know, it's more than that. It's cancer patients. It's veterans that come home from war, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's your police department that have to clean up the mess in the middle of the night when we're sleeping. They have to look at it, and it affects them. And we advocate for police to use medical cannabis rather than use opioids. But for them, they can't. They're like treated as second-rate citizens. We actually have more rights to alternative medication than the police do. And that's a sin.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes, and I wish you a good recovery.
That was our friend Jeff.
That guy got assaulted for medicating in public.
Sure did.
Yeah, some crazy lady who we saw over the summer. We saw her again.
Yeah, we saw her over the summer
her over the
at a similar event.
Oh my God. And we took a picture with her.
Yeah, it was at a racetrack in Jeff's town of Oceanport, New Jersey here.
At the same band. Same band.
Same
rock
band. Yeah, it was the
band.
same
Oh my
band. It was the
God.
same band.
Oh my God.
But Jeff owned the racetrack. He already talked
Yeah.
to the head of security.
Yeah.
He made sure he was able to medicate there. They had no problem with it and everything like
Right.
that.
He smoked at the weed at the racetrack all the time. Nobody gave him a problem.
That was his backyard. So
And this woman comes with the band. And
she was the photographer for the band, so she was very controlling. And she was the girlfriend of one of the band members, so you can imagine the band politics with their relationship. And she wound up assaulting him when he lit up. We actually got it on camera, too.
Yeah. Pulled the joint out of his mouth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and then she grabbed my horn, too, the other lady.
And she grabbed
Both
you.
of us got assaulted
Yeah,
technically.
yeah.
I just didn't follow up on mine.
Crazy.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, man. Call
Yeah.
mind your own fucking business.
Yeah,
Right?
man. Yeah,
Right?
man.
Yeah.
I don't care if somebody wants to sit on their front porch and mainline heroin until they turn blue. That's their right. So long as you don't mess with me or mine, that you do what you do. I really don't care. And I really think that if we follow the the model of some of the other countries in the world that have had such success just by saying, you know what, it's legal. Come over here, get your needle, go over there, do your stuff, and we're going to make sure we cut down on the diseases. The percentage of the population that uses these drugs dramatically decreases. Just do away with the stupid laws, and then you take away all the power from the cartels. And just what he said, man, I got a good buddy that's a cop, and he's like, man, I got to wait 11 years before I can. I said, you know what? If I were you, I'd be fighting the battle. I wouldn't care what I was. If I got hurt on the job, you're not going to pin me with a bunch of pills over this, a natural solution. He goes, no, they'll take my guns, they'll do this. And they got people in Delaware fooled about that too. I said, if you got a medical marijuana card, you can't have a gun. And it's not true.
Cops in New Jersey can smoke weed.
Oh, can they?
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow we got that right.
They got that right somehow. I don't know why or how, but
And thank God.
I think we worked hard for that, though.
Yeah.
We definitely advocated for that.
And that's a better scenario. I mean, geez. Because, that was a
well,
great...
if you've got cops that advocate, then they actually are understanding of people than they come across.
They're in a rock and a hard... Yeah.
They can't advocate.
They can't.
It's illegal federally, so they can't.
No, I mean, when you run across someone as a New Jersey police officer, if you're allowed to smoke weed and you come across a guy that don't have a card and, I don't know, he's messed up for whatever reason, you're not going to take his freaking weed from him. You're not going to take his medication. Not if you're a decent person, you're not going to do it. Okay? I mean, not like I said, if you're allowed to consume that as a police officer in Jersey, I can't imagine that same cop going, look, I'm going to bust you for your ounce. Not unless he was dry and needed some. So that might be understandable. But, yeah, no. But most cops in this country aren't afforded that ability. So, and I think that it would help with the crime rate and just busting people in general for no goddamn good reason. We've admitted to having a quota in Delaware. Jersey probably has too at some point. We look for people to just keep the prisons packed with people just for any reason. So long as the bed is full, you get the same for a murderer as you do for a shoplifter.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I spent enough time in that place, but fortunately never for that. So I do got that going for me.
Yeah, it really is wild, though. We live in a world where you got to fight for yourself, and the odds are incredibly against you. So that's one thing I admire about you and the story that you share with everybody is you've been incredibly proactive and you fought for yourself, and you continue to do so. And that's nice.
I really appreciate that, dude. Seriously, I do. I've actually had people thank me after reading my case. It was very few. But they would understand what it actually said, and they go, you know what? I'm on workers' comp, so thank you. It's like, wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah, understand the implications and to the extent of the possibilities there. Yeah.
Well, that's the next step for all this, and that's what I'm truly excited for is the next chapter and seeing where insurance and cannabis can go together.
Sure.
Because that's going to be truly huge. They're going to be the only ones that is going to have access. And you know what? I feel so great because Delaware outed themselves on this. I talked to every dispensary in Delaware. Okay. When I wanted to get the billing worked out, the insurance company was willing. The dispensaries were like, no, we're not set up for that. Now they're going to go, man, we should have did that. Now look, cannabis is going to get everything from this. So, hey, man, snooze, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
here's our list. Here's our list right now. Give me another 2 minutes. We're done. Our list.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, just give me 2 minutes. Cheryl Miller. These are people that died. Our friends or family that have died from usually needing cannabis or they couldn't get cannabis during their lifetime. And Cheryl Miller is on our list. Sabina Rose, Diane, Gracie, Cindy Mae, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jaybird, Michael, Marley, Colette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lulu, and Jeff.
That's a lot of people, man.
I know. We'll see y'all next week. I'll start it, Mikey. Come on and finish it.
Yeah, sure.
They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.